Hello everyone, this is Keith Jackson and welcome to Jack's Math Notebook. This is our second video dealing with the quadratic formula, and it is read like this. X is equal to a negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. And when we look at the quadratic formula, we're going to be dealing with the discriminant, and the discriminant gives us three different possibilities. The first possibility is two real solutions. The second one is one real solution. And the third one would be no real solutions. Well, how do we come across these three possibilities? What makes these things happen? Well, I'll show you. If inside the discriminant that you see right here, if b squared minus 4ac, if this part right here is greater than 0, that's when you come up with two real solutions. While in this possibility right here, if the discriminant shows b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, then you're going to have one real solution. And in our final possibility, if b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, you're going to have no real solutions, meaning that in this case, the parabola will not touch the x-axis at all. And in this case, the parabola will touch the x-axis at one point, while in this case, in this scenario, the x-axis, or I should say, the parabola will touch the x-axis at 2 points. And let's take a look at these two big examples to better deepen our understanding of this concept. And so let's say we have x squared plus 4x plus 3 is equal to 0, keeping in mind that the quadratic function is ax squared plus bx plus c. And we're still using the same model right here. And now in this case, a is equal to 1, b is equal to 4, and c is equal to 3. And we're going to plug these values, these numbers, into the quadratic formula that you see right here. And here's what's going to happen in our first step. So we're going to have x is equal to a negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared minus the quantity of 4 times 1 times 3 over 2 times 1. All right, and so we're going to clean that up a little bit in our step 2. Now we have x is equal to a negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 12 divided by 2. And in this case, you can already anticipate that we're going to have a solution with we're going to have a situation in which we're going to have two real zeros because what's inside the discriminant is positive. And we will see that in step number 3, in which we have x is equal to a negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4. 4 is greater than 0, so that lets us know right then and there that we're going to have two real solutions. And so again, we have x is equal to a negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 divided by 2. And then we'll go over here right here. So now we're going to have a negative 4, keeping that plus or minus right here, plus or minus the square root of 4, which is 2. And so now we have, again, a negative 4 plus or minus 2, all divided by 2, because we're going to bring that 2 over here as well. And so now we're going to entertain those two possibilities, right? Or those two solutions. And so now in the first solution, we have a negative 4 plus 2, right? Because we have to use that right there, divided by that 2. You see that? And then in the second solution, we have a negative 4 minus 2 divided by 2. And so right here, a negative 4 plus 2 divided by 2 will give us a negative 2 divided by 2, which will give us a negative 1. And in this case, we have a negative 4 plus a negative 2 divided by 2. We end up with a negative 6 divided by 2, which will give us a negative 3. So our solutions are negative 1 and negative 3. So the two real solutions again are at x is equal to a negative 1 and x is equal to a negative 3. All right, so this parabola is going to touch the x-axis at these 2 points. Let's move on to big example 2, in which we have x squared minus 5x plus 4 is equal to 0, knowing that a is equal to 1, b is equal to a negative 5, and c is equal to 4. And let's plug those values into the quadratic formula. And so now we have x is equal to a negative, or I should say, x is equal to a minus negative 5 plus or minus the square root of negative 5 squared minus the quantity of 4 times 1 times 4, all divided by 2 times 1. And when we clean it up in step 2, we have x is equal to 5 plus or minus the square root of 25 minus 16. We get an indication that we're going to have two real solutions because this part right here is greater than 0. Keeping in mind that we're going to divide that by 2. And let's clean that up even further in step 3, in which we have x is equal to 5 plus or minus the square root of 9 divided by 2. And we know that the square root of 9 is 3. So now in this case, we have 5 plus or minus 3 divided by 2. And we're going to entertain these two solutions, in which we have 5 plus 3 divided by 2, and 5 minus 3 divided by 2. And in the first case, since we have 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 divided by 2 will give us this 4. And then the second possibility right here, the second solution rather, is going to give us a 2 divided by 2, which will give us 1. And so now we have 4 comma 1. So let me repeat that. 8 divided by 2 will give me this 4, while 2 divided by 2 will give us this 1. So our two real solutions would be at x is equal to 4 and x is equal to 1. I've just given you a mouthful of information. I wouldn't blame you if you need to pause the video to take a look at everything, or replay this video as many times you need to gain a deeper understanding of how to use the quadratic formula. But in the meantime, please comment, share, like, and subscribe to Jack's Math Notebook for more content. Thank you and goodbye.